All right, so we're going old school tonight, just me and you.
We are.
Yes, that's all right. You know how it used to be, the good old days.
That's right.
Um, so we'll be doing season 6, episode 5, Love Takes Hostages. I feel a little held hostage by Tiffany and Ronald and
Oh,
Kalini and Asuelu. Other people are bringing it though, so I'll give a little credit. This
sure.
wasn't terrible.
It was
You agree?
okay.
It was
It was
okay.
okay.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
So have you been watching The Single Life?
No, I know, I'm
Okay.
terrible. I'm just having
Okay.
trouble fitting it in, so
Let me know when you
I will
do,
get
and
there.
we
Actually,
get to
we'll
compare
do
and contrast.
we'll do our housekeeping first, this time. So I really think we were kinda shooting around other things we could, chat about on here.
Sure.
I am all for trying the Little People, Big World to see if we can get Kirk to come on. I think we can, do a little, persuasing and see if he'll come on.
I think that's a great idea.
Okay.
I have been watching Little People Big World since it started.
Mhm.
And I do have some deep thoughts and feelings about it as much as I do 90 Day Fiance. I can't
Ooh.
say, however, I won't be terrified of uh who would be in our midst. So
No,
I don't
no, I
know.
I understand. So, yeah, and likewise, so we can just, all be nervous wrecks together, but I think that should be our project. What do you think? I'm always down for a
I
project.
I'm all over it.
Perfect. Okay. Good. So we'll get into the show. We're gonna start with Angela and her boobs. I'm not even saying Angela and Michael anymore because this isn't what we're talking about. The breasts
No,
have become, an ancillary character at this point.
they have.
So it's kind of been the same thing. She looks really bad getting out of this surgery.
She does.
She
She
looks
looks
very
terrible.
swollen. She
Yeah, I
looks
mean,
bigger.
the thing that I was thinking about was like that'd be the day that I let anybody tape me after having surgery, especially one where I
Fair
was
enough.
knocked out and not conscious, like, to know
Mhm.
what is going on, you know? It was
Sure.
like, "Whoa," like, I like, I guess I give her a lot of credit for doing that, but I would never allow such things to happen.
Yes. No, I agree. So she's very upset because she feels like she's trying to make this a thing, like the doctor didn't explain how much he was going to take and from the chest. I mean, I would think between the 2 surgeries that she had that the sleeve would be more, you know, concerning and what she should be focused on, not
Mhm.
the chest size, but obviously this is who's
So,
pushing the storyline? Is it her or is it TLC?
about the boobs?
Yes.
I don't know. I mean, I thought it was really interesting that the doctor said that he had written an article about how African women would rather like die of breast cancer than have a mastectomy. And I was like, what? So like maybe it is a thing, I've never interacted, I don't think with anybody from that culture, and I've never been there, so I don't know any different, but if that's true, I mean, it's probably a thing. Now, I was a little taken aback by the fact that Michael was more upset about her boob size than he was about her being alive or healthy. Um,
Yes.
but I was hoping that maybe it was just a bad edit, or an edit
Agreed.
where they didn't show that part of it.
Yeah, I
Hoping.
mean, he might not be one for being great to express his feelings in general, but I would
Mhm.
like to think there would have been some kind of just, "Hey, how are you doing with all of this?" rather than just, "Okay, so how many handfuls of,
Boob.
boob can I mean, how old is he? Because like, what are they doing in the bedroom? I just because the
I
pulling and
listen,
he needs to fondle around with me before he can get an idea if he likes them.
I don't wanna know what's going on, and I mean, to your point, I think that we find out a little bit more when we see that scene with her in the tub that
Oh,
you've
I
been
can't
waiting
wait
all
for that.
season for.
Yes, yes.
I don't really wanna know. I don't.
Well,
I
okay, so
could
we'll
live
save it
longer
for the
without that. I completely you see me here fumbling, I completely lost my notes. I think I have the wrong notebook. But
Oh, is
continue.
it, like, from last week?
Yeah, maybe.
Oh,
I continue.
that's okay. It
It's okay. I'll
they tend
recall
to
from
repeat
memory.
on the show, so you'd be like, "Yeah, I saw it, we know." She refers to herself as "itty bitty titty Angie" now, which is
Okay, like
uncomfortable.
double wait, isn't she like a double D still?
Yes.
Okay, like what are we doing here?
Well, and the
Like
doctor made the right point. He's like, "You're so swollen right now. When your body shrinks, your chest will look magnified. Like, relax. It's day 1."
I mean, they did look small.
Right.
I will
But
say I was a
she had all that
little
tape. She was all taped up at the same
even
time.
without the tape though, I was kind of like, hmm. But I do think that well, I mean, I think we know that they look fine because we've seen pictures of her. So it's a
Yes.
little bit of a spoiler. However, like I
Mhm.
can see going around with those things your entire life and then all of a sudden waking up and that's not there anymore could be a little shocking.
Yeah.
I was happy to see her say though after she spoke with everyone that it was easier for her to breathe. And I was kind of like,
Yes.
"Oh my god." Like, listen, I don't have first experience with like anything remotely even close to a D, so I can't like EFG, like I can't relate. But
Yes.
if you're saying that you can breathe better, probably the right move, probably.
Yeah, and well, when they were first waking her up in the beginning of this scene and they're like, "How do her lungs look?" It's like, "She's been smoking for 40 years. They don't look
Yeah.
good." I mean, spoiler, I'm not a doctor and I can tell you her lungs don't look good. 40 years of smoking? Ugh, I don't
Well, when
know.
I saw the preview for next week too, when she lit up a cigarette, I actually like yelled at the TV because I was like, "This is not okay." Like,
Yeah,
slap a
en
patch
enough with
on.
the smoking.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
disgusting, and
yeah.
it's like really scary. Like, I don't think she understands like how serious that is. Like, you could, just like so many bad things can happen when you're trying to heal from something like that, and it's just not worth it.
And the conversations that the doctor has, like, I get that this is technically plastic surgery, so maybe there is a little bit of vanity involved in these conversations, but are you
Hmm.
really saying to, like, the friend there, like, "She'll still be voluptuous, don't worry." Like, aren't they supposed to keep it pretty clinical? Like, "How are we doing? She's fine," but I don't think we need to get into, like, how much of a cup size. I don't know. I find these conversations very forced, very odd, and I hope we are moving on from them.
I've never been to a plastic surgeon before, and I've never been to a plastic surgeon in LA before, but I would imagine that if I was to go to one, perhaps, with that again, if I saw that lady with the fringe white coat and she was there when
Yes.
I woke up,
Mhm.
I would
Be
not
like,
go
"Get me
there.
out of here." Yes.
So if any of those things were to happen when I go for my plastic surgery consultations or anything like that, I would be out.
Yeah.
That lady's
Although
coat.
I do think, like, I think some people bring in, like, a photograph and they're like, "I want my chest to look like this person's." Like, they try to make it,
Mhm.
very specific, which is a dangerous dangerous way
Well, that's how
to
you end up
be.
on Botched, so that show I
I
did
would think
watch.
so, yes.
Yeah,
So, okay, it's the
it's
same old. Are we are we ready to move on from them?
I am ready to move on.
Okay. Elizabeth and Andre. Now,
Yes.
they talk about contrived. I do think they're bringing it, but it's a little much. She has her first day at home. Has she ever been around her kid before?
I'm not sure. It's a good
Okay, because
question.
she was acting like she had never been around a kid before. It was very strange.
It was very strange. It
This
was all a
child.
little it was all a little much for me, like, "Oh,
Mhm.
I'm trying to do
Oh,
work, and I'm trying to
how
cut
can I
up vegetables."
possibly.
Well, and if you look, they have that big ass clock in the background, and it's 8 o'clock at night, so how are you like, are you really now just cooking dinner? Is he really now just coming home? Like, come
Good
on, I
eye
would have
with the
been born
clock. I'm
yesterday.
impressed.
Yes,
So
details.
she's holding the baby, he comes home and they have a conversation. And I counted, the word fuck was said at least
Okay.
40 times.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
This
Yeah.
child's first sentence is going
Uh,
to be "fuck a dick." That's what the kid is going to say because they said it over and over. And the child's what, probably about 18 months old, would you say?
uh-huh. Yeah.
Almost 2.
Mhm.
Prime time for picking up on vocabulary. I couldn't believe the number of swear words coming out of their
Me
mouths.
either. Me either.
Yeah, it was
And I
really
was
bad.
it was like, just put the kid in, like, in the other room or like, this is not the
Or
time to
just
be
stop
having,
swearing. Just
yeah,
stop
that
swearing.
conversation. I mean, if you have to swear, like, this is now is not the time to have that conversation in front of the baby.
Yes.
And, like, I almost actually couldn't understand what they were talking about because they were, like, bleeped out so many times, I couldn't get the context. But, yeah,
Mhm.
I was like, "Can you put the kid somewhere else?" And then when
Yeah.
Andre was like when she was like she was feeding her a cupcake, and then she went over to the corner, and he's like, "Can you get her a cracker or something?" I was like, "Oh my god, what are we doing here?" Like, just feed the kid, like, something, and, like, send her off to bed. Like,
Send
it is
her away.
bedtime.
It is
Yeah.
bedtime or it's
Yeah.
TV time or just the whole, like I'm so overwhelmed being at home was it was too much for
It
me.
was a little
I
much,
mean,
yes.
I get it, but at the same time, it's like, "Come on."
Yeah,
And,
we're all doing
I
it.
was proud of Andre. He's like, "Yeah, I've been home with this kid every day for the past however long she's been around." So, it's like, "Yeah, I know what that's like." So, I
Everyone's
don't
been
know.
doing it with COVID too. It's
Yes.
not like the past year, it's like everyone has had their kids at home while they're working for the most part, and it's impossible. It's so
Yes.
hard.
I've
So,
tried to stop complaining about that, but yes,
yeah,
it's extremely difficult,
it's
so,
hard.
so then they go to the immigration lawyer, and did they have to bring the baby? She has, like, 18 siblings. No one could watch that kid?
No, guess not.
Do you think that did the kid need to be there? I didn't think so.
I mean, she was pretty well behaved from what we saw. She was just kind of chilling with her bottle. So I don't know. I mean, I think it was fine. I'm trying to think, like, I don't know. Like, I personally haven't brought my baby anywhere, unless I have to, just because,
It's a
again,
good point.
pandemic.
Mhm.
So she has not been anywhere other than the doctor's office and my mother's house, and that's the
Ah, yeah.
extent of it. So,
Mhm.
I probably would not opt to bring such a little child somewhere during a pandemic. But yeah, I mean, aside from that, yes, she has a million sisters. However, who knows if they're talking to one another? I certainly wouldn't leave her with Charlie.
Don't leave your
Um,
children with Charlie. No. No.
so the options might be limited.
You're better off leaving it in the crib and just hoping for the best,
Alone,
lock the
yeah.
door.
Mhm.
So, I mean, there wasn't much about the immigration lawyer, we kinda learned, "Hey, you have to apply." I'm surprised though, they said his visa expires in a few months, and they're just
Yeah.
now getting on this. I wouldn't wanna cut it that close, that seems to be cutting it close to me, but I guess what do I know?
Yeah,
So
so I didn't know that I mean, not that I know a lot about K1 visas, but from watching this show, I don't think I've ever seen this
the next
part of the
step.
process. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
right.
like, I don't know. I frankly, I just think that they are running out of things to talk about, and they didn't have a lot to go off of this season because of the pandemic. So I've said
Mhm.
pandemic like 8,000 times, but I really
It's
do
okay.
feel like it completely made this
It has
season super
changed a lot
boring.
of how things are done on this show, so I'll
Yeah.
be excited for some new cast members and, some new storylines because, yeah, this is it does get a little bit I don't wanna watch people who are doing well, we'll put it that way. I wanna watch people struggling, so, they're like,
Well,
you
if
there's
you want
plenty of
that,
that.
there's always Mike and Natalie.
Oh my gosh, I cannot wait. Yes, so let's are we done with them? Because I think that was
Yes.
it. Yeah, okay.
I did you see, did you happen to see the preview for next week, on Pillow Talk? Do you watch Pillow Talk at all?
I haven't yet. I
Okay.
have to get back into it.
The best part of this
Okay.
week's Pillow Talk was
Tell
the
me.
end when they're watching the next week,
Mhm.
and, Andre is like, the first clip is Andre ripping, like,
The
the
refrigerator
refrigerator
door, right?
apart,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
he's got, like,
yeah.
a sledgehammer, and So they show that really quickly, and then they flash to Kenny and Armando, and Kenny's like, "Oh my god!" And Armando's face, and they thought that he was just angry and like
Oh,
lashing out, and then all of a sudden they realize, oh, it's just him demolishing the kitchen, and they
oh,
start laughing. But their faces, I had to rewind and pause it. It was so funny.
oh, that's funny. What a
They
tease
were
that would have been,
horrified.
huh? They'd be like,
Yeah,
"Andre
yeah.
goes on a rampage and rips up the fridge," so that would
It's
have been
very
funny.
telling that that's what they thought it was, though, because it
Yeah.
wouldn't surprise me.
It wouldn't surprise
It
me. You know,
did.
he tends to run a little angry, so
Little hot.
oh man. We'll see what happens. Okay, so I know I'm gonna give you the floor on this one because you
Okay,
seem
you gotta.
to
Oh, go
be
ahead.
quite passionate about Tiffany and Ronald.
Oh, okay. I was steaming mad
Okay.
when I watched
Yes.
this.
All right.
Okay, so you have children, I have children.
Mm-hmm.
I I was so angry watching him speaking to Daniel, who is what, 8, 9 years old.
10 at the most. Yeah.
Okay. Telling him that it is his mother's fault that they are in South Africa, and it was her that was supposed to buy the ticket and she canceled the ticket, so that's why they're not there. And you need to ask your mother to come because she's the one who canceled the ticket. And furthermore, if we don't get the visa and I don't get to come to America, you have to move to a country that you don't want to move to, 9-year-old boy. And the poor kid,
He's such a sweet kid
he
too.
is so
Such a sweet
sweet,
kid.
and
Yes.
you can kind of see in his face because you can tell he really loves his dad, who isn't
Yep.
biologically his father, and that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
But he loves his dad, but he loves his mom, but he loves where he's from. He does not want to leave his home. He does not want to leave his friends. They've been in South Africa. It was frankly scary what they showed. I mean, I wouldn't feel comfortable there either if I was Tiffany.
Mm-hmm.
But for him to put that in that child's mind, I was like, "Oh, hell to the no." First of all, if that was my kid, I he wouldn't be talking to him anymore unsupervised because that is not okay. What Ronald should be saying is, "I am working very hard to have you guys come here. And that's something that I will discuss with your mother." That is not a 9-year-old child's problem. That is not something that he should have to worry about. Those are adult problems. To put that on that child, I was like, that would be
Well,
it. I mean, no way. No
he's already
way.
on reality TV, so the kid's probably gonna be screwed up forever.
Probably, but I was just like, to put that on his shoulders at that age, I mean, at any age, it is not his fault. It is not his responsibility. It is not his problem to solve. He is a child. I was just so appalled by this. I, I am out on Ronald. I'm
Yeah,
out.
I watched this actually quite a few extra times because I saw I saw you post about it that you were very upset. So I went back and I said, okay, I gotta watch this again. Um, it was odd what he was trying to do. I think he was doing it as nicely as possible. Not that that makes it okay what he was saying. Um, I have a feeling she is probably talking back at home as well. And this poor kid is
I'm sure.
you
I'm
know,
sure.
it's, "Well, your dad's not here because he can't be here," or, I mean, the bottom line is this wasn't a good idea in the first place. Don't get involved with someone who's in another country who you can't, eventually live together. It's not gonna work. I mean, I
Well,
could have
I
told
mean,
anyone that.
you could see it in her face though when she was like, we're not talking about this right now, or we're not going to worry about this right now, when he said, "Oh no, you're going to have to move to South Africa." Why would you say that to a kid? Why would you do that? Why
I
would you
know.
upset him like that? That's not fair. It's just not fair. I
Yeah.
mean, talk about adults screwing up a situation, and he has no control over it, and now he has to worry about that. Like, the kid is going to, I don't know. He's
Yeah,
such a
and
sweet kid.
you could see his little wheels turning like, "Wait a
Yeah.
second, if he can't come here, then what's
Mhm.
gonna happen? And what's going to
Mhm.
be the consequence of that? And then
I
what do
felt
we
so
do?"
bad. I felt so
Yeah.
bad for him. It's not right. I I hope that you are wrong with Tiffany, but like I can totally see that too. But what was shown, I was just like, absolutely not. That is not
Mm.
fair. I feel so bad for him.
Yeah, it's very it really is quite sad. So they
That
go
would be
from
the
that.
day that somebody says that to my child. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
And, when they hit around 10, they become more curious. The not adult type of conversations happen, but you can have more, they know what's going on. So sometimes, unfortunately, conversations have to happen. And I mean, this kid's probably sitting here going, why isn't he here? And I want answers. Did he give him the right answer? Probably not. But what do you tell him? I don't know. What do you tell him?
You don't put it on his mother, and you don't
Yeah.
blame her, and you don't make him feel like it's up to him to convince her that they need to be in South Africa.
Right. Yeah. See, at first I didn't realize they were talking specifically about visiting South Africa. I thought they were talking
Mhm.
about moving to South Africa. So when he was like, "No, this was your mother. This was your mother," I said, "Oh, he's talking specifically about when she canceled the trip."
Mhm.
I guess. So I mean, I don't
Well,
know.
and then it moved into, well, the visa. And
Right.
well, what happens if I don't get the visa to come to, like, he wants to see his dad, and that's understandable. But and he wants to see his kids. That's understandable. But to put all these things that are potentially not even going to ever happen in his mind, and
Yeah.
again, to make it his problem as the child, that's not fair. And it's like,
Hmm.
then she has to go deal with him being upset about moving to South Africa, and be like, well, we're not moving to South Africa.
No,
And then
it's just
having to
gonna go
answer
in
all these
circles.
questions about, well, what happens if we don't move and Ronald can't come here? And it's not fair. It's not fair for him to have to worry about that or think about that. He should be able to just be a kid.
Hmm. So then they change gears, and Tiffany goes out with her sister, who I didn't even know she had a sister.
Oh, I know.
I laughed out loud because this woman is so dedicated to having cold shoulders that her denim jacket had holes cut out specifically right on the shoulder area. So, I mean, talk about dedication. She's never not exposed that part of her body,
I
ever.
did not notice that. That's so funny.
Yes, the denim jacket had holes cut into it. So, she felt the need to explain to her sister that for her wedding anniversary, she, quote unquote, put on some lingerie, closed the door, and had sexy time. It's great. Yeah, I feel really good about that. So, she wasn't in
I
a bathtub and we didn't get to see it, so I guess I am kind of disappointed.
I mean, one could only assume that she has cold shoulder lingerie too.
The lingerie has some form of, I'm guessing, dangling fringe sides because yes, I I have quite a good visual of that, I gotta say. Um, and then they go back about the South Africa. I'm tired of this conversation, whether
Same.
it's with Tiffany and Ronald, Daniel and Ronald, Tiffany and the
Same.
sister, the mother. We're just beating a dead horse at this
Whatever
point.
her sister's name was, I forget because I don't have my notes. I liked her and I liked her points, and we will see. Yeah, but
Yeah,
another
interesting.
kind of flat storyline
Yeah,
that's
they're
gone
the
on for
worst
far too many
storyline,
weeks.
in my opinion.
Yeah.
They are just, it's just not doing it for me, I guess we could say.
Yeah.
And on to the other couple who is not doing it for me, Kalini and Asuelu.
Oh Jesus.
I mean, I have not much to say here.
I didn't
The
either.
the scary dad comes. He's trying to play couples therapist. I mean, he was giving both of them good advice.
He was much more calm than he was in previous seasons. I was a little
Sure.
bit surprised. I think that when we see Kalini's dad, usually he's ready to kick Asuela's ass under normal
Yes.
circumstances, and one could not blame him for that. I was this many days old or years old when I found out that his name was Low. So there's that. I was like,
Oh.
whoa, okay. I thought you were just Kalini's dad. And I thought it was actually very sweet the way he spoke to Asuelu when they were golfing and they were like
Hmm.
having their bro time.
Yep.
Um, it was really nice because I think we've seen that other side of him far too many times, and we didn't know that there was this. But I don't know. It was kind of a moment that they had. I don't know.
Yeah,
I
it was a good
I got the
idea to
warm
do
fuzzies.
that.
It
Right.
was,
I
yeah.
mean, none of this is breaking news.
No.
Communicate better,
Yes.
listen to each other. You're not always right. And that does go for both of them because she is sitting here going, "Okay, maybe I need to change, but he needs to change more." I mean,
Right.
that's exhausting. Stop. Just say, "All right," to say what Mike always says, "I'll work on what I need to work on. We will work on things." Ugh, it's just he gave good advice. She says, "Well, we've been married for 2 years. That's a really long time." And the father Lowe just basically laughed at her. She's in for a long haul, is my guess. Long.
Yeah.
2 years is a long time.
I mean,
So
I don't necessarily agree with Lowe that you should be miserable for the sake of staying in a marriage. I don't think that's right either, but I
sure.
mean, for him to try to step in and say like, "Listen, like before you just kind of give up because you have only been married for 2 years, maybe
Right.
try these things first, you know?"
Yeah, if you
Um,
want to fix it, this is what needs to be done.
right. Right.
So, just hope we'll see. I mean, they should really be in counseling, but, I thought the dad
Yes.
did a good
Absolutely.
job as the little stand-in therapist, but not even really that interesting. Anything else on them?
No.
No, same.
That
Okay.
that golf course was quite nice looking. It was very pretty.
Now, I was thinking about this. I've never played golf. I don't think I've ever been to a golf course. Can you just stand there and have a conversation like that, or do people, like, tell
No.
you to move it
Yes.
along?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was
Yeah.
wondering about that.
Yeah, usually you're supposed to move it along just
I
for
would think.
courtesy's sake. I mean, it's been a really long time. I used to actually take golf lessons way back in the day. I was a kid
Oh,
and
look at
I would
you.
golf like, yeah, 9 holes and that was enough for me, but I wasn't great at it. But yeah, you're supposed to keep it moving. And that's part of the reason why I haven't picked it back up as an adult because I'd be like, sorry. Like,
Yeah,
I would
my
just be so like worried
25th
about holding
swing.
everyone up and apologizing way too
Sure.
much. Yeah,
Oh, there you go.
makes me
Yeah,
nervous.
maybe someday I'll play, but, probably not anytime soon.
Nah, I'd
So
rather sit in the cart and sip wine or something.
oh, there you go. Yeah. Okay, Jovi and Yara. Okay. She looks really good,
She does.
but do you have to wear, like, the tightest white pants you can find?
The white pants, man, I was
I
like,
don't
wow, that's gutsy,
it's
really. I
it's
mean,
very yeah, it's very bold, but also, like, I don't wanna say it isn't flattering because she looks great, but, like, you don't wanna look like you're stuffed into your pants, and she just looks I don't know, I didn't like the white jeans is kinda not really that's gotta be a European thing, it must be.
I think they're cute, but like they're not great on everyone and
Sure.
they're not necessarily flattering if you're bigger than you're supposed to be at certain points in time.
Yeah, 8 weeks
Hello.
postpartum,
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. Like mine don't look right now. But yeah, no, I think they I don't know. I mean, I think she looks cute, but I agree. I mean, she it's it's not fair. I saw some she posts on do you follow her on Instagram at all? She posts videos of her like working out and
Oh, no.
she's of course always wearing a sports bra and like a pair of shorts
Mhm.
and her stomach is flat as a washboard and like she's just like nothing ever happened and here I am like 6 months postpartum and I'm like it's not me. Um, some people have the great genetics. So I don't know. Maybe she didn't wear a piece of maternity clothing in her entire pregnancy. I'm not quite sure. I could still wear maternity clothing if I would really like to. But it's not fair. But I agree. I mean, she was a little it didn't look comfortable more than
It
anything, you
didn't
know?
yeah, it didn't
Just
look
like
good,
that
so
pressing
it's
on
just like,
you. We were trying to have dinner.
Um, what do you think the baby is? About 8 weeks old here
Yeah.
was my guess
Yeah.
when,
She's still an infant.
yeah, the mom came to babysit. Um, Jovi's like, "Oh, am I gonna get any sex tonight?" And she's like, no, I'm still seeing my doctor." And she does this weird, like, spoon hand motion, and I'm like, I don't understand the spoon hand motion when you're saying you're going to see your doctor.
I
I
don't
don't know what's
either.
going on there,
I
but, I found that questionable.
Yeah, it's weird.
So yeah, he then gives her, well, actually, he says that when he goes away for work, she calls and cries all the time, and he makes her happy by buying her shoes and bags, and then she cries some more. So,
So I okay, so there was fun Yara at dinner for a couple of hot seconds.
yes.
And then he had to ruin their night out by telling her this. And I don't know. I mean, clearly they were telling her but for the show, but it was sort
Yes.
of like, you get the first of all, you need to be away from your baby every once in a while, and you need to let other people bond with your child and your child bond with other people. So I think that was great that they were going out and she was doing
Agree.
that,
Yes.
whatever. Um, but and then we got some fun Yara, which it's sort of like, oh, this is probably the way she is 90% of the time, but we see the 10% that she's upset or mad or miserable. And then he breaks the news to her and she's upset again. And it's sort of like, why do you need to ruin this dinner and this night out where she finally is kind of away and free and feeling carefree and not with a child and whatever for a couple of hours? And then you have to ruin it for her.
Well, if he really has to leave in a few days, yes, unfortunately, he had to tell her because
Yeah.
when in the hell else are you gonna do that?
Maybe you could have waited though till they got home. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, I do agree with that because we know they're not gonna go home and have sex, so he
No.
already got turned down.
Yeah.
But I guess I just don't. I understand, like, it seems like a long time. Oh my gosh, he's gonna be gone for 2 months. The baby is not going to miss him. It will be
No.
fine. It will
No.
be fine. And she's trying to make everything sound like she has it so much worse. Like, do you think she has it worse than Tiffany?
No.
Natalie?
No.
Julia? Angela?
I mean, Angela was looking a little rough. She lost some boobs,
She's
so
very upset about the double D
yeah.
size, yes.
Yeah.
So, I just and I understand you can only, be emotional towards your own situation, but I just with all the crying, I would never be able to be with someone who complained that much. I can't do it. It's
Yeah, I mean,
exhausting.
she it's sort of I don't know. I mean, I guess it's easy for me to say, but when you know that this person has this type of a job, you kind of have to know what you're getting yourself into.
Yes, and
And
that's what she said to him. She's like, "What was your plan when I came here?" And it's like, "My plan was I would go to work and come home. That was the plan, and now it's not working." So, I mean, just suck it up, you know?
yeah, I don't know about her.
Yeah, I'm hot and cold, I'll put it that way.
Yeah.
So, we'll see. But like you said, because we have Instagram, we kinda get the look ahead and we know
Right.
everything's great, so, yeah. We're just watching people, go through the pandemic, infant, jobs away from the house, so I guess that's all they have, pretty
Yeah.
much.
Boring.
Okay, so we're gonna get to my favorite couple of the week. Now,
Oh
alright.
boy.
So I'm not here to take victory laps. I'm not here to brag or say, I called this before anybody else. And I wish B&B were here because I know she's on board. Are you on board, Allison? That
Okay.
Mike and his mom are getting naked in a hot tub somewhere.
Oh god.
Go
So,
ahead.
okay, I'd like to
You
share with the
can.
class. I pick up my phone the other morning. I haven't watched the episode yet, so I don't know. This is Monday morning. I pick up my phone, I wake up. I look at my messages and there's messages from Lauren and B&B talking about Mike and his mom. And I don't remember exactly what you said, but it was sort of like, "Oh, Mike and his mom, so gross. Like, what was that about?" And I immediately thought Mike Geary and Mike's mom, not Mike from 90 Day Fiance, which is clearly what we were talking about. But
We have 2 Mike motherfuckers,
that's
so it
right.
is getting very confusing. Who knew there would be 2 of
Immediately,
them?
my mind went to Momigiri. Worlds collide.
You know, the drop kept playing in my head. "Yeah, I fucked my mother," over
Yep.
and over because this guy I've never heard someone speak flirty to their mother, well, ever, but, like, this is weird. This is very strange. "We're going to visit mommy." I can't even say I can't even get it out with a straight face, it's so bad. He's 37 years old saying, "Mommy." Oh, I wanna pass out right now, I'm actually sweating.
It's so creepy, right? Like,
So then so they're going to Oklahoma to visit Trish. It's Trish, right?
yes.
Trish/mommy. They open the door to her house. I paused. It was like an I Spy book. I paused the TV and did an inventory of everything in that house because that was strange.
It was
She has this pink wire patio furniture as her dining room table.
oh,
Am I describing that
I
correct?
didn't even notice that. I'll have to go
What?
back and look.
It's like it looked like it should be in, like, the book, like, Great Expectations. It was very strange, in, like, a garden somewhere. It's garden furniture.
Wow.
So what else did you see in the house,
Well,
Allison?
my eyes went right to the pigs.
The
That's what I
pigs.
was looking at. So,
Sure.
because there was a lot of
There was a
pigs.
lot.
And I thought it was a very valid question when Natalie asked why pigs.
Sure.
Was there something behind the pigs? And she was kind of insulted by that question. Well, I just started collecting them.
But to clarify, they're all
Cool.
piggy
Cool.
banks, right?
Yeah,
So
I didn't even
there's
notice
no
that.
stuffed animals or they're
Then they
all like
got in the
these little
room and it's
yeah,
piggy banks. Yeah. I was like, okay,
it was odd.
cool.
I mean, I don't have any massive collections, and now I'm kinda sad about that.
Oh,
So,
I'm not sad about that. I hate clutter and that
yeah, I'm not
house,
a knick-knack person.
holy
Yes.
shit. I was
Ugh.
like, I would die. I would take all those and be like, boom, oops,
Yep.
sorry. Like
Gotta
I
go.
can't I can't deal with that. That is way too much to clean out. That is way too much to move around, dust, deal with. It looked
Dust,
terrible.
yeah.
The
She
other thing
had
that I
a
noticed was
yes.
in the like living room area when they panned the camera over, there was like these big stumps of wood on the wall or something.
What were those?
I
Like,
have no
wood
idea.
carvings?
I
I
have no idea.
the
I have no
stuff
idea.
she had a beaded curtain between the kitchen and the living room. A beaded
She was like and
curtain.
and she
What
was
is
like,
happening?
"Well, it killed me," and she was like, "Natalie, Mike, this will all be yours someday," and I was like, "Oh," I would be
Oh,
like,
yeah.
"No, thanks. I'll set
Like,
with that."
you hate her so much that you're gonna leave her with having to clean out that house. That will be your last revenge move when you give her that home. Like, "Here's all my crap, so
Oh my
good
god,
luck."
it was horrible. I
It
mean,
was awful.
and Natalie was actually kind of nice about it. She was like, "Well, my style is more contemporary and kind of
Yeah.
clean, but
Clean.
it's very lovely how she has her house and she has her collection and she likes it and that's great." I was like, "Wow, okay."
God.
Eek.
So, they end the episode with a birthday cake, and Natalie leans forward and says, "Oh, what does the cake say?" "What does the cake say, Allison? Go ahead." I can't say it. I cannot get the words out.
It says, "Happy birthday, Mike and Mommy."
Oh, Mikey.
Mikey and Mommy.
I want to die. That is
And
it's
she's like,
so
"Oh."
bad. Yeah, and she's like, "You can't blow out all the candles."
It was
It
so
was
weird. I was
so
like,
gross.
first of all, who puts 30 however many old candles on a cake? I mean, that's just ridiculous.
And who's
Who's
gonna eat
blowing
all
on a
that
cake in a
cake?
pandemic?
There's
And
only 3
yes,
people. It's
I
a
was
cake
like,
for 40.
I was like, why is the cake so large for 3 people? And
And
Natalie was
Natalie's
not
not gonna
having
eat
any of
it.
that.
Yeah,
No,
right?
she was like, I'm good."
Yeah, and Trish was very, she's like, "I don't understand what her attitude is here." It's like she's probably freaked out because the demon piggy banks and the patio furniture, and I thought she was fine. I thought she was just fine. Considering she's supposed to be, like, the weird one, that was not the case today. Mm-mm.
It was concerning. It was
Oh my gosh.
concerning.
I That was my favorite probably my favorite moment of this show so far, by far. I pause the TV, I'm looking around that house and the way they act with each other. I have a pretty good radar for like sexual chemistry and it is there.
Well,
100%.
I mean, I don't know. Like, it's just,
Mm.
it's very strange. Their relationship is very strange.
Well, as he said, it's very unique. I think we all know what that
Sure
means.
is.
Very unique. God.
Oh
Oh, I hope they
God.
stay there. I hope they stay there for the rest of this show. I don't
Um,
want them to go home. I want them
so
there.
again, the preview looks great. When they bring her to it, what looks like a butchery of some sort, and of course, we know that Natalie is not about the meat life and
Sure.
cruelty and whatever. And all they do is show like a zoom in of meat, raw, dead meat, and she's running out of the store. So I'm sure this is going to go quite well.
Oh, well, I'm kind of excited. So it's about time I don't, we didn't start this segment going Mike and Natalie and we didn't go, oh, again.
True.
So
True.
yes, I enjoyed it. Makes me
Oh,
happy.
and
So,
we have to talk about when she was
ooh,
going to the airport and she was in the car and she looked like uh, I don't know what happened to her. It looked like somebody died or I was like, "Are you okay?" And then she said something about, "Oh, it's early and I haven't had my coffee." And Mike's like, "Yeah, I have to like throw it at her and run away." And she's sitting there like it's like, "Okay,
yeah, maybe she just
psycho."
isn't good for traveling. I don't know.
I mean,
She
I'm
has
not a
been
morning person
very
either, but I
okay.
don't I don't look like that.
Yeah, I am a morning person and all
I'm
my
not.
coworkers hate me. So,
Yeah, I'm not a
some all
morning
like peppy in the
person.
morning and then by 10 o'clock, it's very cranky. So,
No. Yeah.
um, yeah, she's been very subdued, this season in general. We're not getting, I don't think the normal crazy a little bit with that apology dance, maybe,
That
but,
was weird.
he made a weird noise this episode too, and now I can't remember what it was, but he'll just like make sounds. Like if he doesn't have anything to say, he'll just like start barking.
Yeah, he
It's
barked at her. I was
it's
like,
very strange. He's
cool.
such a strange
Okay,
guy.
cool.
Yeah, no.
Don't
I'll
bark at
I'll put
me.
this on
I'd
the
be like,
record right
what the
now. I would rather be married to a Swelu than Mike.
Oh wow, that's
A Swelu, you can give him like a
something.
cookie and a video game and he'll leave you alone. This
True.
guy, I don't want to be barked at. No.
That's
No, no
weird.
barking.
Don't bark at women,
Uh,
men. I don't
okay,
want you.
so our final couple of the evening, Brandon and Julia.
Yes.
Okay, I'm trying to remember a cast member from this show who I started out as like they were the sympathy character and they have just completely turned into I really dislike this person more than she has become.
I'm thinking.
But would you agree with that?
Yeah, she's up there. She's
She's pretty
certainly up
bad.
there.
She's pretty
Yeah.
bad. Yeah. So, okay, this was exactly like the Rebecca and Zied dinner scene. I mean, we're
Yes.
basically reliving this. So,
Yes.
if you've already watched us recap that, we're just going to do it again. I found
Melanie is the new Hannah.
Melanie is the new Hannah. Melanie
Mhm.
tells us to the camera, well, Brandon really likes thin, small, brunette, bossy girls. So, you basically, Melanie. Am I correct there? If
100%
he has a
correct.
type, these two are it because
Yeah,
they're in
I
the
thought
same ballpark.
I mean, Julia is definitely much prettier than her, but they are both very similar looking, I think.
Yes.
And it's funny because Melanie, that's her name, right? Started
Yes.
out by being really nice and
Mhm.
being like, "Well, how did you guys meet? And how do you like it here?" And she was really genuinely interested in what was going on. But Julia was being such a bitch. She was just like,
So bad.
I mean, just not personable, not nice, not making any sort of an effort at all. And
Yep.
so Melanie was like, boom, I'm gonna
Yeah, she turned into
give it right back to you.
interrogation mode. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
that was
And
crazy.
which is always strange when and we've seen these conversations on this show before where they're like, "Well, how do we know you're not using him?" No one in their right mind actually asks people that.
No.
No, this is just I don't know, very very strange, but God, she was just ugh. Now, did they lay it on a little thick when in the beginning when Melanie's like, "Yeah, I've been to the farm, tee hee, tee hee. Yeah, we watched movies all night,
It did
haha."
seem contrived
I
because
mean, should it
that's
bother her?
exactly yeah,
Probably not, but
that's exactly what Julia had said, I think, in the last episode, you know? And
yeah.
so for her to just, I mean, I guess just thinking about it, it's a normal thing to do if you haven't seen somebody for a really long time, because what else do you have really to talk about?
Yes.
Um, but it's just nostalgia. It's just them
Yeah. Remember when blah blah and
finding
you
a
kind of just
common ground. Yeah, it's just something
right.
to talk about. It's not Julia is psychotic. Like, it is not anything to be that upset about. I mean, for somebody who is so she seems so confident on the outside,
Yep.
she has to be the most insecure person on the inside
She's very insecure.
to be threatened by a conversation about something that happened, what, 15 years ago?
Right.
You know, when she wasn't even in the picture. You're married, first of all, you're married to Brandon. Second of all, nobody wants Brandon except for you. So don't worry about it. It's not as if he's some, grand trophy prize.
Catch. Right.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure he's a very nice person, but and third, like just be a nice person. It doesn't it just be kind. You don't know anybody here. She was making an effort to be nice to you and to get to know you, and you were nothing but a miserable person to her. It was
She can't be a wedding planner. You cannot be a
no,
wedding planner and act like that.
no.
You have to have a certain patience and personality. She doesn't have it. I
She
we
wasn't having
realized this at
any
the
of it.
tell-all.
Yeah.
Like, do you think she's going to be able to tell someone who really wants a certain dress that maybe isn't flattering on their body type, "Oh yeah, that looks good on you?" Nope. She's not capable. She is not
She couldn't
capable.
even she couldn't even like first of all, he was doing that to help her make a friend. Now, maybe it's not somebody in the wedding industry, but he was trying to help her make a connection outside of their house.
Right.
I think that
And
was a nice gesture of him, and it was
like
genuine. It
how
wasn't like he was planning something for them to go and hang out with his ex-girlfriend to make her jealous or something like that.
right.
It was for Julia. He brings her to this place. She bitches about where they're
The
at.
place
She
isn't good
bitches
enough,
about the
right?
menu.
Yep.
She bitches about the fact that they're even meeting with these people. This girl is there with her boyfriend of 5 years.
Yep.
Again, Brandon is like, you know, he's Brandon. I wouldn't
Yeah,
I wouldn't be so worried about it, Julia. We'll just put it that way. Like, it's
I
just
know.
crazy. It's nuts.
Nothing's good enough, and like I said before with Yara, like, I just don't have patience for stuff like this.
Neither.
It's just I feel like people forget to say thank you nowadays, and, ugh, she is just ugh.
It
Be
was
happy once in
very
a while.
she was a total brat. Just a complete and total brat.
Yeah, and I mean, I didn't even get much out of the conversation because I'm over it. I don't
Yeah,
know.
she it was gross. It was
I
her
wonder what's
behavior
next
was
with them.
terrible.
Just green card and they hate living there? Is that all we're gonna get?
Yeah, I mean,
They gotta bring back Ron and Betty. I mean, I hate to say it, but they do.
so it looks like on the next episode, Ron and Betty will be there when she
Good.
opens her envelope. So we'll get
Oh,
some Ron
envelope
and Betty.
wrapping. Okay. Well, excellent.
Yes.
All right. So that was everybody. I
Yes.
think we're going to be on Project Little People Big World, which I think it's on Monday nights. Is that correct?
It's on Wednesdays, I think.
Oh,
Or today.
okay.
No, you know what? I think it's on Tuesday. So I'm always a day behind because I watch everything that's on my DVR the next day.
Sure.
And Tuesdays and Wednesdays have become very challenging for me lately, especially because there's Little People Big World, there's Siesta Key, there's the Hills, there's all kinds of stuff going on between Tuesday and Wednesday. It's a little overwhelming.
Is the Hills is it the now
Yes, the
season?
Hills New Beginnings.
How is that?
I mean, it's okay. Like,
Okay.
I got really bored with it last year. I don't even remember. I don't even think I watched the last episodes. They have some people on that weren't on before, like some kid named Brandon, who I don't even know who he is or why he's on. I could care less about him. I am a little interested. So, first of all, Can we just talk about Brody Jenner for a second? Because I loved Brody
That was
Jenner.
my question. I was waiting to ask that
Okay,
because
so I loved Brody Jenner. Like,
me too.
yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So
Is he on
they
now? Is he on there
he is
now?
on now.
Does he ever take his shirt off?
Okay, so you
I'm
should
gonna ask the
just
important questions, Allison.
no, this is a great question. You should watch the first 30 seconds of the first episode of this season. That's all you need to watch.
Oh,
And
well,
you
if
can
you want to
thank me
rope
later.
someone in, that's how you do it.
So the season starts out with an opening scene of Brody Jenner in the shower. I will leave it there.
Okay. That's it.
Now, his
Promotion made.
hair is quite questionable this season. I will say I don't like it at all. It's a little bit
Okay.
too long, and he's lost a lot of weight. He's not drinking anymore. And he lost a lot of weight, I guess, over this pandemic and quarantine, working out a lot, not drinking. So he does look a bit different, but yeah,
Okay.
that opening scene is on point. And again, you can thank me later. 30
That is
seconds
so
of your
funny.
time.
It's basically the only reason I watched that show back
Yeah,
in the day.
I mean, the only other reason why I'm kind of into it now is because apparently he and Audrina might have kissed. And so I am all in on that storyline until that's over. And then I'll probably be over it. Like Spencer and Heidi, I don't know. I tried
I
with
can't
them.
with them. Yeah,
Yeah, I
no.
tried to listen to their podcast too, and it just got annoying. And
I could imagine that.
she just, I don't know. I get really sad thinking about what she did to her, like her face, and like she just doesn't look good, and she looks like,
It's not good. It's not good.
it didn't age well. We'll just put it that way.
Yeah, I haven't seen her in a long time, so I
Yeah.
can only imagine what time
It's
has done. Now, did you ever watch Very Cavallari on E?
oh, absolutely.
Okay. Do you agree with me that Jay Cutler should have his own TV show?
Absolutely, yes.
Of just
He's very funny.
he's very funny.
He is very funny.
Yes.
I am very sad that they are
Among
not
other
on
things.
anymore.
Yes.
And I am very sad that they are divorced. But yes.
I'm not, because that means like he's on the market, so I'll
Oh
make my
God,
move.
Jay Cutler, come on. Come on.
Okay.
Mr.
All right, good.
Personality.
I think he has a good personality.
Well, so
I'm not into nice
when
guys.
he was
So.
well, okay. So when he was in Chicago, and he was quarterback, there is some story of him like being at a urinal, taking a pee or something, and some kid came up to him, or somebody said something to him, and he leans back and he's like, "Don't care." And so
see, I find that charming.
Yeah, that's what I always associate Jay Cutler with. So
shouldn't you not talk to men when they're at a urinal? Isn't there like a rule about that?
I don't know. I've never
if
tried.
it's out, leave them alone. I don't know. Okay, we'll take anyone has an opinion on that. Let us know. I'm curious. Okay, good. I like the TV recap. This is fun. I got to start watching more stuff so we can chit chat about them. So.
Yes, I'm still on maternity leave, so I have a whole smorgasbord of bad TV that I fill my days with. So,
oh, there you go.
Any
well, give me
recommendations that anybody needs, I am here for you.
Oh, perfect. Okay, I like it. Well, we'll be back next week, and I think we'll have a full house. This is what I'm hearing. So, Gig,
I hope so.
B&B coming back. I'm excited. For now, good night.
Bye.
Bye.